What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are reviewing KGF Chapter 2. Now for those who've seen my review of the first KGF, you'll know I really did not like it. A lot of people had told me that I wouldn't like it and might like this one more. And a lot of people had raved about the first one. I completely disagree with the hype that it got. I genuinely don't think the first film is a good film at all. But I am so pleased to announce that KGF Chapter 2 was a much different experience. I thoroughly enjoyed KGF Chapter 2. Now all the technical aspects of the first film, which were great, the soundtrack, the action, the kind of cinematography, the lighting, that is all present and amplified in KGF Chapter 2, but the main improvements it makes is in story and character, which I thought were very lacking in the first film. We get to see Rocky with a lot of internal conflict in KGF Chapter 2, mainly due to the fact that he now has to kind of manage this empire that he's taken over, and we get to see the kind of weight of that responsibility as he's just liberated millions of slaves and has to kind of deal with that and deal with his new role as a kind of leader and an employer and a businessman at the same time, all while retaining that kind of gangster badassery that characterized him in the first film. So the film feels a lot more emotionally rooted in its main character, whereas I thought the first film just kind of put Rocky in situations and it didn't really feel like it knew what to do with him at times. Especially with his very charismatic personality, I didn't feel in the first film that tonally it matched a lot of the drama that was going on, whereas this film balances that a lot better. I also think the story is much more compelling just because you have such a intimidating villain. You know, this film really goes all out with its antagonist. I read somewhere that the appearance was inspired by Ragnar Lothbrok from Vikings, and you can see that 100%. And it was just really great to see Rocky go up against an opponent that could deal some damage and kind of strips Rocky of some of that demigod superhero vibes that he had in the first one. That is good to see, you know, it creates some interesting drama and a great comeback journey for the main character. If there's one kind of character story aspect that I think the film doesn't improve on, it's the kind of love story. It feels very underdeveloped and very cliche when it is addressed. It doesn't feel like it gets much attention or much kind of authentic exploration, which was the same with the kind of first film. I don't think they really knew how to incorporate that love story into the film, but it doesn't detract too much because it's such a minimal part of the story. And I also think the kind of decision to tell it through a modern day lens and kind of flash back through it through a modern day police investigation doesn't really fit. I think those segments of the narrative felt a little distracting at times and tonally didn't really fit the vibe. I would genuinely call the experience of watching it great fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The first film was such a drag and this was the completely other end of the spectrum. It had a much better focus on story and character, and that just made the soundtrack and the action just hit a lot harder and just carry a lot more weight with it. So I'm so glad that I stuck with it and checked it out. But please let me know what you guys thought. I would love to hear any comments you have. Agreements, disagreements, just please drop them below. Please also consider liking and subscribing to my channel, guys. That's always a huge help. And in the meantime, thank you for watching and we'll see you with the next vid.